Hey everybody, I'm Tony Kristofi with Creative Gems, and today I'm going to teach you how to stamp a personalized ring using our jig. So today, the rings that we're going to be using are the rings from Creative Gems, wholesalejewelrywebsite.com and bikerjewelryshop.com. We have tons of different styles, different kinds, different widths, different thicknesses, different colors. But once you learn how to do one ring, you can do every single ring that we sell. Today I'm using a size 10, 5mm stainless steel brushed ring. It's nice and flat on the top, nice and big so you guys can see when I make my impressions with my letters. So the tools you're going to be using today are going to be our jig, stamping jig, the mandrel set that comes with the jig when you purchase it, and your stamped letters. I'm going to be using the size 10 mandrel, and this is just going to go right in here, and you're going to put the ring on it there. Today I'm going to be doing the name Alexandria. It's nice and long, gives me time to explain kind of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. So the first thing you're going to do is get your mandrel for the correct size ring that you're doing. If you're doing a 3, grab a 3. If you're doing a 10, grab a 10. Put it in here, doesn't matter where it's at, and then grab your first letter. Mine's going to be an A, of course, for Alexandria. So if you see here, it's off a little bit. We created this really cool screw mechanism that adjusts the depth of the ring. So I'm going to make sure that the ring is right in the middle. So I always look on both sides just to ensure that the letter is centered in the ring. And then I personally like to push down on my die here, and then you're going to use your 2-pound sledgehammer, and then you're just going to give it a whack. And you're going to pull your letter out, put it back where you found it, and then that is your letter right there. So then from here, I always grab my thumb and I move my the ring, slide it over a little bit. I'm going to grab my L stamp. I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to make sure the spacing's okay. If I need to adjust anything, I can. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to hold the stamp so that it doesn't go anywhere. That's my L. Some people ask me the question, how hard should I hit it? That's kind of up to you. I mean, the first, don't be afraid, because it is stainless steel, so it can take a hit. Typically, I just drop the hammer on it. But if you don't hit it deep enough the first time, just go back and reline up your letter and hit it again. And over time, over a couple of rings, you'll get how hard you need to hit it using the hammer. Everybody's different, of course, but if you hit it too hard, you're going to know, because you're going to see part of the stamp, the outer edge of the stamp is going to hit the metal. So it's going to go, the letter's going to go deep enough to where the letter's in there, and then the edge of the stamp will actually leave a little impression. So that means you've gone too hard. So what I like to do is hit it really hard the first time and then back it off from there. And if you notice, I have the sound deadening rubber pad, and if you notice, it's not very loud, and that's very important if you're in a hospital or a mall and you're trying to keep quiet by still making your jewelry. Personally, I've found that I like to make a little bit of noise if I'm in a mall, because it gets people's attention. And if people want to go and see what you're doing, and that's going to generate more business. So I'm going to grab my A, make sure my spacing's correct, make a little quick adjustment. There's my A. There's my N. Now I got my D here. D. My R. And I. And last but not least, your final A. Alexandria, which is a very long name. All right, you're going to take it off, and then you're going to use a black paint pen or whatever color. We have a couple colors available. I personally like this Competitive Advantage MPD15. I've found that it makes just really good paint. It lasts a long time. It really sticks down into the metal. I've noticed some people use a black nail polish. I've heard that works. What I don't like about that is it takes a while to clean it off, and you want to be fast because usually your customer's there. But you just take this little pen and then blacken in your letter. And this takes like a few seconds to kind of dry. And then I always just take my finger and give it a wipe to push the ink down into the letters. And then I use my polishing cloth here, which we sell as well. It's Sunshine polishing cloth. They work great. Shine everything up. And then just give it a little wipe to wipe off the excess and let the paint sink down into the letter. And there's your ring. So as you can see, I just made a ring in less than 5 minutes. It's a great quality ring, stainless steel ring, lasts forever, doesn't tarnish, doesn't fade. Nobody's allergic to it, which is really nice. Great affordable ring at our website. You can make a big profit margin. We have customers selling these from $25 all the way up to $50, depending on their markets. So next I'm gonna show you how to do a thinner ring. They're a little bit more challenging because it's about your spacing on your letters. I'm gonna do a 3mm ring. So you can see the difference here between the two. You know what the difference is. If you're just beginning, I would suggest to stick with a 4mm or higher. It just makes it a lot easier to keep your letters in the middle of the ring. But I'm gonna teach you how to do a 3mm ring. They're very popular because people like to stack the rings if they're doing their children's name. It looks good on a dainty finger. We have them in rose gold, mirror finish, rainbow. We have all kinds on our website. So check that out. It just depends on your style. So for this, I'm doing a size 9, so I'm gonna get my size 9 mandrel, put the ring on, put it in here, and make my initial adjustment from the back. So I'm gonna get my letter. I'm gonna use capital letters. I personally like lowercase letters on the 3mm rings. They fit a lot better, but you can still fit a capital letter if you don't want to go out and purchase another set of lowercase stamps. I'm going to do the same name, Alexandria, that I did before. So I put my letter in, and I'm looking for both sides to make sure that I'm even. Some letters are challenging. You need to watch out for P's, Q's, D's. The tops and the bottoms of those letters might bleed off of the ring. So just be careful with that. Like I said, what is nice about our rings is they're very affordable for you as the retailer to buy. You know, they only cost $1.50 or so. So if you do scrap one or you mess up on one, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I've found my middle point. I think it looks pretty good. The top of my A might be a little bit off, but most customers understand that you're doing it by hand, and you know, you're not a computer, and make sure people know that is you're an artist, and you know, perfection's boring. So I think it being a little bit off really gives it that handmade feel that we're going for. So make sure that's in there. Give it a little tap. My A's in there. I'm gonna go with my L here. So I know some people like to stamp sitting down. Some people like to stamp sitting up. And that's what I said, when you build your post, build it to wherever you're comfortable. If you're gonna be sitting, you know, build a little bit shorter. If you're gonna be standing, build a little bit taller. I personally like to stand because when you're on your feet all day and you're sitting all day, it kind of hurts your back. So I'm gonna go put in my X. Now my A. So what I'm doing with my thumb right here for the 3mm rings is I'm pushing the ring in so it doesn't move when I take my hammer out and the die out. I want it to be stuck in there. So I'm pushing the ring in so it stays put when I go to swing my hammer. Now my D. I'm going to set my R. Now my I. And last but not least, the final A. And it's that easy. So now I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to use my paint pen. And I'm going to color this in here. I'm gonna let it dry for a minute, and then I'm gonna use my thumb and push that ink down into the letter. Let it dry a little bit. And there you have your ring. Less than 5 minutes, great ring, stainless steel, rose gold, very, very popular ring. And that is using our jig to make rings. Very, very simple. This jig makes it very, very easy, very fast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned and we'll teach you how to make some more stuff. Thanks. And there you have it. Just made a ring, less than 5 minutes using our jig. It makes it very easy to use, very easy to stamp jewelry, precise every time. It's awesome. Remember, if you have any questions or concerns, anything at all, don't hesitate to call. We believe in you. You can do this. It's amazing business, and just don't ever forget, big things have small beginnings.